as a person, first of all, the story goes that your brother is the person that made you a left-hander. Is that true, and how did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, that's a better question for him. I think, for my memory of it and going back to when I was, anywhere from, I think it was 5 or 6 years old, and just in the backyard, playing catch and going from picking up the ball with, my right hand going to throw it, just okay, put it in your left hand, and, but again, that would, for me to answer it, I don't think would do it justice, so it would be more of a question for him, and he would be able to, give you a much more detailed answer.
You didn't really spend a lot of time in the Atlantic League. That story is kind of blown out of proportion. It almost seems like you spent 2 seasons where I believe it was like 21 innings total or something.
Yeah, it was like 2 outings. It was 2 outings, so I think it was probably maybe 13 innings, maybe. I think that's what it was.
But how did that help?
Yeah, I mean, look, that's an entire, 6 chapters in a book if we wanted to go into it. But it was just really the determination of getting back into starting and then understanding that I was healthy enough to get back into starting. And what I mean by healthy enough, it was just being able to have the confidence to go back over the top and have my shoulder health be where it should be. I was thrown out of the bullpen for 5 years. I had a Tommy John surgery mixed in there, so I battled back from that from 2011. And in 2015, it was really a decision to be made whether I wanted to, continue to keep going as a reliever or get back into starting because of how I felt. And I had that opportunity because the freedom was there of being home and not really at the kind of the determination of a club and what they would want you to do. So the club would want you to, if you get signed as a left-handed reliever out of the bullpen and you've been throwing sidearm for 5 years, they would want you to continue on. That's what they signed. I remember telling actually one of our coaches in Cleveland, our pitching coach in Cleveland when I was there in 2013, that, at the end of the season I felt that I was strong enough to be able to start again. And we actually, that was brought up a few years ago when I had saw him across the diamond, and we had kind of laughed at that, where I was then now in that position when I was with the Dodgers. So that was something that I felt back in 2013 that could have been, but I was completely fine and comfortable with being a reliever because it was kind of a decision that was made out of necessity as survival. So you just adjust and you find out a way that you can compete and contribute and survival of the game and being able to go out there and do the best that you can. So that was something that being able to make that decision to go back into starting was something that I felt even before 2015.
It's interesting because you mentioned how you felt comfortable and able to come over here and again.
Yeah.
And I don't think fans or media really understand that the pitcher really knows his body. We see Jake, I believe he probably knows what every muscle should feel like after every start.
Yeah.
That being said, years ago, pitchers like Seaver, Marichal, Gibson would throw 200 pitches in a game and never get injured, and they didn't have the off-season training and the regimens. What in the game has changed, and why do you think that is?
Yeah, I mean, and just in society alone, we have, cars and running water. So, I mean, look, everything's going to be kind of, incrementally getting better across the board altogether. You go into a training room in 1940, 50, 60, 70, 80, each year, each decade, you're going to see things that are added that are going to continuously improve the game and improve the player for the benefit of health. Now you go into a training room in 1999 to 2000, from 2000 to 2010, I can tell you the changes in the last 20 years that I've seen. And the incremental differences that have happened are probably, leaps and bounds to where they were from even 1980 to 1999, just because of the technology, the advancements that we've been able to make in the PT world, the education that is out there, the more kind of dialogue that's being had between the trainers and the PTs and the massage therapists, and the rehab programs that are out there. How Tommy John has been able to be, from the early stages on, you would be in a cast for 4 months. Now you want to get that thing kind of moving as soon as possible. ACL is the same way. We didn't know as much as we did. It was obviously something that was groundbreaking and absolutely saved careers and still continues to save careers. However, now we have the internal brace. That has come around in the last 6 years. So it's something that the advancements in science and the advancement, it's only going to continue to get better. I mean, with the internal brace, is that going to replace Tommy John surgery? It could, and if it does, it also will it will decrease the time on the IL. Pitchers will be able to come back in 6 to 7 months. I mean, think about that. You have guys now that are going to be 12 to 15, 16, 17 months on the IL for a Tommy John, as opposed to coming back in 6, 7 months. And I mean, it's there's a lot of great things happening, and I think it just has really has to do with, I mean, you talk about, the guys, in the 60s and 70s and even before, having injuries or being able to deal with injuries, and the advancements that we're seeing now has only benefited everybody. The club, the 26 guys now on the roster, and the fans, to be able to see their favorite player. Because think about it, we have 26 guys on the roster. Every guy has a favorite fan, or every fan has a favorite player. I don't care who, if you're the 26th guy on the roster, somebody in your family is, so everybody has a favorite, and that's one of the benefits of medicine and how far we've come.